I'm Dr. Matt.
I'm Dr. Amy.
And we're here for episode 6 of 10 Minute Time Out. So last time with 10 Minute Time Out, we literally had record shares, record viewership. It's absolutely awesome. Be sure to go to our YouTube page, which is 10 Minute Time Out, and go ahead and subscribe to that. So whenever we upload these videos, they come straight into your feed in case you're not here live with us. Awesome. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Scott. Good to see you guys. Today we're going to talk about 10xing your life in terms of getting more productivity, more energy, more just flow in your obsession and your focus by maximizing your mind and maximizing your mouth, right? So these are both metaphorical and actual action steps. So this was birthed a little bit out of a great thing that happened this week. This morning I was Wednesday morning, I was downstairs in the morning, just doing lots of stuff early, and at about 6:30, our son came downstairs and he said, "Hey Dad, can I jump on the treadmill and go for a run?" Because he wants to start to get prepared for track and field season coming up. And when he finished, I just told him how proud I was of him. I said, "That's awesome, buddy. You know, it's not even 7 o'clock. Most kids aren't even out of bed. They're not even on their way to school yet. And yet you've already accomplished more." And so what's happened there with him is he's actually set his mind to something. He's got action steps going with it. He's literally pursuing things that he's passionate about and has goals for. And so that got us thinking about how it's so important that we have deliberate control over certain things in our lives, and what are the things that we think are the most important to control. And we thought that the most important things that we want to try to really deliberately control to maximize life output and maximize what goes on is our mind and our mouth, right?
100%.
And so you're always talking with the kids about how they have to believe it to achieve it, right?
Yes.
And so what does that mean?
Well, the biggest thing, and I mean, lots of people have heard this, where your thoughts matter. And that was a line out of our son's speech, and I heard it a few too many times, and now I'm spouting it out of my own mouth. But your thoughts do matter, because what you put into your head, you will actually start to believe, and you will speak out. So if you start to, control those thoughts, then what you speak you'll start to believe. So it's kind of they bounce back and forth. The thoughts you believe become the words that you speak, and the words that you speak become the thoughts that you believe. So they work in harmony together. So you really have to start to think about those things and control them. And it's so easy. I know lots of parenting sites always say, think about the words that come out of your mouth, and then when you don't, you hear your child repeat something that you would say all the time, and that's where you get that little kick in the pants that's like, whoa. They're only saying it because they hear me saying it. So those are things that we've really tried to work on in our parenting and in our life application to, think about the words that we're using and the thoughts that we're allowing to circulate in our mind.
Yeah, so we started years ago to say we want to be just super deliberate with our thought processes and creative with our minds to move that in a direction that would be in line with what we want to see happen in life, right? So, so many times we purposely choose to get out of a lot of the chaos of the world to set the path in our minds with the direction we want to go. So we've been married now almost 14 years.
Oh, yeah.
And we've never subscribed. We've never had a newspaper subscription that comes to our house. We don't watch the news in the morning. We don't watch the news at night. We don't do any of that sort of stuff. We deliberately try to set our minds to be able to move forward in the direction that we feel our life purpose is, right? There's so much chaos and so much stuff going on in the world that you got to be really careful about what you lend your mind to and what you lend your thought processes to.
Right.
So even with our kids, they'll come home and they'll mention stuff, but they'll hear about that at school. They'll have never even heard it inside of our home. So regulating your thought processes, deliberately choosing where you want your mind to go, what you're going to put your resources and your energies of thought towards is super important. We go back, this has been spoken for, thousands of years. Even, it says in the Bible, literally, that you would be transformed daily by renewing your mind. And so as you renew your mind daily, you start to be able to go forward and to be able to move forward in the direction that you need to be. That's probably step one. I see thousands of patients who come through our office, and they'll talk oftentimes about the chaos of their life, But I'll also recognize sometimes that when they talk about the chaos that's going on in their life, that it's not necessarily even deliberately stuff that they would want to be engaged in. They get pulled into all these different things.
Right.
And part of that is just not being deliberate with where you're going to let yourself go, right?
Absolutely. And I mean, I think in any situation you can be a part of a conversation and realize it's taking a turn that you would probably not want to be a part of, but it is easy to become drawn right into that, and that's where you just have to always make sure that you have those checks, which is going all the way back to one of the very first videos that we talked about when we talked about, you know, what are your priorities in life, and make sure that you have checks and stops along the way to keep you accountable to following those priorities. So if you know that that's something you don't want to be a part of, you need to be able to have accountability to remove yourself from that situation, because it is very easy to get drawn into situations like that all the time.
I know every day, like I'll see in your email inbox that you'll have inspirational stuff that you'll read, right? You'll have stuff that you'll read about, you know, whether that's being a better mom, whether that's devotional stuff, whether those are things. But so you're constantly getting stuff that you put into you to help set your mind, right? You're reading articles all the time. You're doing things that are putting good, healthy things that are in line with your heart, that help grow you and move you forward. And I'm the same way too. So a huge part of being able to set the course that you want for your life is to control what goes into your mind. So you choose it. It doesn't have to be a nightly subscription to the news. You choose what you're going to let into your mind, and find things, find books, find articles, find other people, stimulating conversation, find mentors, do things that you can do that are going to help to grow you and go forward. You know, there's so many people that would teach you through their teachings that you literally become the average of the people you spend the most time around, right? So choose to spend time around people that are going to pour into you and move you in the direction you want to be. And then the other thing we want to talk about is maximizing your mouth, right? So a lot of times we'll hear people who say, like, it might be a conversation. It might be a conversation about weight loss. It might be a conversation about life not being where you want it to be. But ultimately, you have to literally try to maximize what's going on in your mouth, right? What's coming out of your mouth and what's going into your mouth in order to become the best person that you can be, right? So simply, like even from a food perspective, what you put into your mouth is going to dictate the energy that you have left to put out, right? So if you put trashy, garbage food into your mouth, you're going to
feel bad.
Your energy level is going to be low. You're going to literally end up in a situation where you've got obesity coming. You got all these different things, right? Like the power that you harness from an energy perspective every day is directly connected to what you put into your mouth. So this is where we call, like, you can 10x your life by controlling your mind and controlling your mouth. You know, for sure, I see this comment here from Jamie Brooke about high performance sports athletes, right? I mean, the world of sports psychology is just all about controlling what's in your mind to go out and be your best. Getting back to the mouth there too, but you know, there's another thing that is a little bit less tangible, but is very, very real, which is you will become what you speak on an ongoing basis, and the people around you too. You know, I always say, like, if I walked in every day, and you know, Amy and I are deeply in love, but I walk in every day and I say to her, oh, you know, hon, you're this, you're that, I'm not sure you're really the one I should have married, or whatever the case is, that's going to chisel away at her, it's going to chisel away at us, it's going to ultimately destroy our physical life just based on the words that I speak.
Absolutely.
Right?
You will defeat yourself before you even leave your house by the words that you speak in your mind and out of your mouth. And you know, like people here talk about positive affirmations, but the bottom line is you have to believe it inside of yourself. If you start speaking negative thoughts over yourself, you're done before you even start. And that's one of the biggest things that holds people back from accomplishing their goals and their dreams. Most people don't even ever put them on the chalkboard to begin with, because they've already told themselves in their brain and then spoken it out of their mouth that it's not possible.
Yeah, so you have to speak in complete alignment with where you want to go. So you have to say, you have to literally train yourself to say, it's going to be a great day today. If you try to flip on the news to find out if it's going to be a great day, you're done, right? You have to decide and say, it's going to be a great day today. You have to decide and speak into your kids, You're good, kids. You've got what it takes. You're awesome. You're, whatever they're going for. We've got kids who are always trying to accomplish different goals all the time, and we're trying to speak that into them already. I'll give them an identity. This is called giving somebody a reputation to uphold. Yeah. So if somebody said to somebody like, good. Oh yeah, like I remember one time I was running with my friend Freddie, and he said to me, he goes, wow, you're such a good uphill runner. And I didn't know I was a good uphill runner, but he said, you're so good at running up hills. And every single time I ran uphill with Freddie in the future, guess what I tried to do? I tried to uphold that reputation by running really well up hills. Kids, spouses, family members, people around you are the same way. Give them a reputation to uphold so that they have something to step towards, right? Don't tell your kids they're bad. Tell your kids they're great. Correct them by saying, that's not in line with what's in your heart. Your heart's beautiful. You're kind. You're respectful. You're a warrior. Whatever it is, you're going to give them that reputation to uphold. That's called speaking life into something. That's called literally that the power of life and death is in the tongue. That's called that, the ship is controlled by its rudder, right? And so you want to make sure that you're 10xing your life by controlling these things that are so powerful but yet easily overlooked. We do a video that gets a ton of action on it, which would be like, what deodorant to use, which is really cool.
It is important,
right? It's important. It's super cool. We love doing it. But the reality is that stuff's great. It's easy, tangible on the surface. But to really step into the fullness of who you are, your purposes, your passions, all those things in life, those are deep, right? And if you can literally learn to master the best that you can, your mind and your mouth, you will have an absolutely transformational time coming to you, right? You might not see it instantly overnight, which is different than applying some deodorant, which you see happen instantly. But if you step into these things and apply them consistently for 3, 6, 8, 10, 12 months, whatever it is, I promise you your life will be dramatically different. Not traumatically different, dramatically different, right?
And you will become more resilient, which is huge. And if you can show that to your kids and teach your kids how to become more resilient, they will prosper in life much better. Which is key. Do you have any, before we go, do you have any books that you would think that if someone shot out a question there about good places to start or websites?
You know what? Why don't you create a comment thread underneath and let us comment and put that down that other people can see that too, and I'll try to put some links and different stuff in there too. So start a comment thread, ask those questions. We always get back to you with anything that you comment on there. Be sure to go on to YouTube, like our 10-minute timeout page. Subscribe to it and share this with as many people as you can. We know that the impact that this is having, people are sending us messages and talking to us all the time about it. Share this, post it. There are other people other than you that need to get this information and benefit from it too. We love you guys. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you at the next 10-minute timeout.
Give your kids a reputation to uphold for the week.
Yay!
And their life. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.